Angling is a series of choices, from an infinite number of options, some simple, like what's your target species, to the complexities of understanding fish location on a seasonal basis. Then there's the myriad of presentation options. It's as mental of a game as physical. Each challenge is different, but the basic process remains the same. For angling is like solving a living, breathing puzzle. And to see the big picture, you need the fishing edge.
Look at the size of that thing.
Wow.
Look at the size of that pike. Oh. Well, you're going to talon up here, ain't you? Got you that time, you sucker.
Yeah.
That's a walleye, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stinking palmetto, I got you here. Oh, nice one, Jim. I'm going to need a net. If you want to go strictly for a bigger fish, you know, you can jack that up to a 5, 6, 7-inch bait. You know, if you want to go for really just bigger fish. Man, look at how many fish are under that dock.
Hey, how are we gonna get them today? Well, it's midsummer. The fish should be scattered throughout the water column. Some are deep, some are at mid-range, and some are up in the shallows. Classic, fish everywhere. But which ones are biting? Let's start up shallow. We can fish a whole lot faster to start pulsing a bite. My first pick is wind-blown front faces of mid-lake humps. Oh, that'll do. First
Big one?
cast. I love summer, man.
I got one too. Oh, I just dumped
Did you
one.
miss yours?
Yes, I just had one too.
I'm just gonna mark it. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna
marked.
put a
This is a good
GPS.
fish, man.
Oh, you put a coordinate down already.
I got it. I just hit it.
I'll get myself a net.
Oh, yes, that's what I like. It's a big fish.
Is that?
Yeah,
Holy mackerel.
nice fish. Nice
Let's
fish.
see.
Nice fish. Oh, come here, come here, come here.
Wow.
Nice one.
There you go.
Nice,
Ooh,
healthy one, man.
Beautiful fish. Whoa. Now
Okay,
you're
hey,
talking.
got it, got
Wow,
it. Yeah,
that's a
hold
nice
that thing
fish.
up. Hang on a second. Let me get a.
Get a grip on that dog.
Oh, look at this.
There we go.
Sit down here a second. I GPSed it, so we're on it, right on the windswept side at this point. Come on. You know, walleyes like this have consistently been caught generally on live bait all over the country. Live bait's been a mainstay in the world of walleye fishing. But recently, because of the problems we've had, let me put her back in the water. There you go, baby. With the problems we've had with invasive species all over the country, there's been so many rules and regulations that have impacted the transportation of bait. And what it has forced a lot of walleye fishermen to do is start looking at alternatives. And the alternatives have been versions of soft baits, and particularly on jigs. Today, Jim and I are going to talk a little bit about things we observed over quite a few years about using soft baits in place of live bait for walleyes, particularly on jigs.
Skinny water walleyes, nothing better. And these fish are real scrappers in shallow water. The fact is, if you got a lake that has a good population of walleyes and substantial weed growth, chances are there are some walleyes in them all year long. It's pretty simple math. There is always some type of forage in the weeds. Walleyes being top of the line predators, simply follow the food. The trick for you as an angler is how do you, pardon the pun, weed them out? Well, you roll up your sleeves and force the fish to react to your presentation by aggressively pop jigging plastics.
The biggest mistake that I see people consistently make that have been jig fishing all their life with live bait, minnows, pieces of night crawler, leeches on the back of it, is to fish the hook a piece of plastic on the back of it and fish it exactly the same way they did when they're using live bait, and it isn't going to work. Yeah, you know, they're going to fish it like you do with a minnow and that light head, and that you'll lift the bait and it'll flutter because it's so light, and it'll go real slow down. And because you know, you're so used to fishing the lightest bait you can. And when you do that with these soft baits, you'll lose a whole lot of the effectiveness. And that's a mistake they make. You've got to really put a heavier bait on and really get to snapping that thing. This is a triggering bite. That's the key. You don't have the attraction of live bait. It's a triggering bite. It's a reaction bite. And when it's right, it can be incredibly right. So you don't fish it the same way. You fish much more aggressive. And the idea is to take that jig and hop it off the ground. It's got to jump off the ground, come off, and then crash down really fast, and all of a sudden the fish is on. That's where the trigger comes in. It's not that slow lift and drop and feel for the bait. It won't work the same. Not that you won't catch some fish doing it. It just don't work the same. Look at this. This is what those walleyes are eating. Look at that.
First one. Oh, big one. Look at that.
And there she is.
My first Mercury.
154 stroke, the lightweight heavyweight. And she comes with all this. Say hi to Wendy from customer support. She's always there to help. Jerry from product testing. He dishes out the torture.
They can take it. Good.
And Tim from design. He never misses a detail. Obsessed with quality. Bobby, prop engineer. He turns horsepower into performance. This is George.
It's good to have Mercury behind you. Meet the rest of the team at mercurymarine.com.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Really? You're seriously just gonna leave me in here?
Yeah, I'm fishing deep today, Ike.
Are you kidding me? These are perfect conditions for pulling big bass out of heavy cover.
Yeah?
Heck yeah! Try one of these weedless wacky jigs.
All right, yeah.
It has an offset hook and stainless steel weed guard. Whoa! Oh,
Sorry, Ike.
flip it in there, and its wacky action will have you pulling out one fat bass after another. Please! I can't say anything.
Closed captioning provided by Northwest Ontario, Canada.
Right now we're fishing in, Al's holding the boat in 15, as he said, and we're casting up into about 6. A lot of times, and this is throughout the entire season, we're catching these fish relatively shallow. You know what I mean? Classic live bait fishing, traditional thinking is they rig or live bait rig, whether they're pulling bottom bouncers or fishing in deeper water, anywhere from 12 to as deep as 25, 30 foot of water, you know, throughout the course of a season. Realistically, throughout the entire season with this system, we're catching a lot of fish, and a lot of times really big fish, very, very shallow. I know one thing, a lot shallower than traditional walleye anglers normally fish.
The snap jigging, pop jigging method that Jimmy is talking about, it is mainly a shallow water method. And this might shock you. It drastically loses its effectiveness when you get deeper than 15 feet. It's at its best from 4 to about 12. That's where it works the best, because the way the bait skyrockets, more of a flatter area, a taper than a sharp drop, where the bait will jump off the bottom. Yeah, you know, and you'll lift it maybe 2 feet and it crashes really fast. And you're moving it forward. You're moving the bait like 3 to 4 feet at a leap. And when you get deep, you can't make that happen because you got to wait for the bait to go down. So when you get on a deeper drop off, the bait starts going vertical like this and not jumping forward, and you're not getting that trigger effect. When you get in deep water, deeper than 15 feet, and you want to trigger fish, that's where a jig and wrap or snap wrap comes in the game. The principle is the same, but the bait's got to change.
Like we said earlier, it's midsummer and there is a good chance there are walleyes scattered all over the lake in many different depth ranges. We started on the shallow weed edge and hooked up right away. So like the old saying goes, don't leave biting fish to find more biting fish. But for the sake of argument, let's pretend we did find a school of deep water walleyes. These guys can be just as aggressive as the shallow water fish. For deep water fishing situations, the snap wrap or jigging wraps come into play. These baits are tailor-made for power fishing deep water. You can move fast and efficiently with these lures through the depths, and it's the same triggering action that was used in shallow water. It all boils down to size and shape. These lures were designed to rocket to the bottom and stay there. With a quick snapping retrieve, you perfectly imitate injured or fleeing baitfish. You could say that these two different styles of baits have the same job. The only difference is one does it deep, the other's up in the shallows.
Very pickish. Very, very pickish for a walleye.
A big walleye.
Yeah.
You want the net on that guy?
No. I mean, yeah. I can get a grab on this one. I was kind of surprised. I thought it was a piker at first, but ooh, he's got some of the, what do you call these things, Jim? These cold, in the cold weather when you see these things on them? Huh?
I don't know what
I forgot what they call that. They got a name for it, but it ain't a bad one. Look at him, he's got a lump sitting right there. I thought I had a pike for a second. Hey, let me take a minute here and get her back. I'd like to go over a little bit with you about the shape of baits. You got one into the shape of baits and the kind of jigs and some things we've learned. I think you'll like this.
Shaping up plastics for walleyes isn't high science. Actually, it's the complete opposite. It's the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. I kind of like that. Here's my go-to pop jigging rig for tearing walleyes out of shallow weeds. First off, you'll need a barrel swivel about 15 inches above the jig. This simply prevents line twist. Then there's a 1/4 ounce VMC Moon Eye jig. The aspirin shape gives this bait a real erratic action when it's snapped through the water. Another little note, as far as jig weight goes, it's always better to go a little heavier than lighter. That allows the bait to rip through the cover. Next is my plastics. Without a doubt, the two profiles that work best is a button tail or a minnow tail. I've done this a lot, and curly tails don't work nearly as well when you're pop jigging like this. Personally, I believe the curly tail has too much drag and straightens out the bait when it's pop jig. The fork tail or button tail allows that jig to move much more erratic, veering left and right unpredictably, just like an injured minnow. It forces those fish to pounce on it. The fun part about this is you get all size fish. Whatever's up in the weeds, bite on it.
It's a better one, Al. We may need a net on this dog here.
Looks good.
Oh,
yeah,
there
nice
you go.
fish. Holy
there
mackerel.
you go. Beautiful.
Good fish, Jimbo.
Come here, buddy.
Oh yeah, good fish.
Come on. Ooh, a real bullhead here.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Nice fish.
Come on. Oh.
Get her in, get her in.
Yep,
Get her in.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, that's
Look
a
at
good-
that.
for this
That's a
one,
better
that's a
size
good one.
fish.
There you go,
there
man.
You go. Look at that guy there. That's a pretty good size one.
Nice one.
You know, we've been catching a sort of a whole series of different size of fish, but the thing is, at some point in time, it's amazing on how big a fish you catch doing this, even in really, really shallow water. That's what's really cool about it. I mean, when all of a sudden you could be hooking, 5 to 8 pounders in certain conditions. We catch really big fish to fish in this shallow water with the snap jigging presentation. We'll get her back in the water. Come here. Back to the depths.
In fishing, nothing beats the confidence and enjoyment that comes with using the best equipment. There's a reason why generations of professional anglers, guides, and camp operators make Lund their boat of choice. They stand up to the elements and the repeated use that hardcore anglers put them through, season after season. They're guide-tested, wilderness-proven. Isn't it time for you to experience the Lund difference?
Suffix 832 is constructed with 7 strands of Dyneema and a single strand of Gore Performance fiber. It's the roundest, longest casting line in the world. It offers superior abrasion resistance so you can fish it anywhere. It's the strongest, most sensitive, and durable small diameter braid ever to hit the water. Nice fish, Brett.
Thanks.
Suffix 832. Always use the best line.
Why take chances with your engines? Protect them from neglect, wear, and tear the easy way with Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam helps to maintain top engine performance by removing harmful deposit buildup from your engine and fuel system. Control moisture in gas and diesel. Stabilize fuel for up to 2 years and lubricate your engines to start easier, run cooler, and last longer. Trust all your engines to Seafoam Motor Treatment, the choice of mechanics for over 70 years.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
I got you that time, you sucker.
Yeah.
That's a walleye, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stinking walnutto, I got you there time. Oh,
Better
nice one, Jim. I'm going to need a net.
Okay, I'll get it.
I need a net. Nice.
Good one.
No, not a big one, but not a bad one.
Come here, buddy.
Yeah, good to be man. I missed another one just before that.
Not
Just
a bad
swing her
one.
this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's no giant.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, good bread and butter. Just a nice general walleye. I had walleye dinner last night, and my wife was really happy with it. And one like that would have fed both of us with ease. You're lucky it was a last night feed. You know, when we're fishing snapping like this, I don't think you could fish this presentation effectively with a bait casting rod. Yeah, you know, everybody I know that's good at this thing uses a spinning rod. And one rod that I really got used to and really like for this kind of presentation is this Quantum Smoke 6.9 medium action, Smoke 25 reel on it, and I got it spooled up with Suffix a 100% fluorocarbon. And the other thing we'll do, because of the variety of different plastic, you put a little barrel swivel, and a lot of times that helps. About 12, 15 inches up in front. A lot of times these baits, if you're casting into the wind, sometimes you'll start to get a twirl like this, and it just eliminates the line twist. So,
you know, I don't think anything has really changed the face of modern angling than high-end mapping program like what this Lake Master chip I have in this 1198 Hummingbird unit. As of recently, over the last couple of hours, Al and I have been finding the walleyes actually on pretty specific location. The wind is blowing from this direction. We find the fastest drop-offs on the tips of these points are sunken islands, and you can look backward here and you can see another GPS coordinate here. That's the exact same situation, and this is what the real key of this is. It enables you, once you start catching fish in a given location, you can open up the map and quickly identify the next spot down the lake that is a carbon copy to where you're catching fish right now. And that's something that, you know, it wasn't that long ago before these high-end mapping programs. It was a lot more work to go find them. And I tell you one thing, it's not only for walleyes, but for any different species of fish.
Yeah, it is a nice
It's just just a fabulous tool.
nice one. She's a nice one.
Are you finding it harder and harder to spend time with your family? All you need is the right place to reconnect.
Big walleye, Dad.
Got it. Here we go. This is fun.
Northwest Ontario, your place to reconnect.
For years, they've quietly taken you where the fish are. But now the silence is about to break. With the incredible new iPilot Link, your Minn Kota and Humminbird can communicate with each other. So you can hold on a spot like an electronic anchor. Record and return to waypoints and paths. Follow any Lake Master depth contour and more. All automatically and all from your Humminbird or the Link remote. They talk and you'll be speechless.
Welcome to the Inner Circle. Rotating coverage up to 300 feet gives you a detailed 360-degree view of structure, contour changes, and fish. So you can see them before they see you. Introducing 360 imaging, only from Humminbird.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
No, you can lift it up. We're just going to go down. There's another sharp inside corner in front of where these guys, they're on the outside. We're going to fish the inside, the wind-blown side. But when you look on the map here, you can see there's a lot faster, sharper break. See how 30 foot of water cuts in really tight. Is that weeds or bait there? Holy
That was
mackerel.
a whole pot
Look
of
at that
it.
big
Just
school
a
of bait
whole
on
pot
there.
of
Wow.
perch there.
Man, that's something going on here. Ooh, a couple of these guys are perfect. Oh, there's one.
Oh, Jim.
There's one.
I got you that time, you sucker.
Oh, there's one.
He's got one, he's got one, he's got one. Tailing her down once and see what happens. I mean, we had fish going here.
$12 foot. 12 foot down.
We just caught a lot of fish here, so we decided we're going to tail in down, and that's the new Minn Kota tail in that we got on there. It's a 12-footer. The old one used to be an 8-footer. 12 foot you can tail in down, and that's amazing. We'll work this edge just like this. Give it about 10 minutes.
Got him?
Yeah,
Ooh.
got him.
There you go.
That's a walleye, and it's a big fish.
Yeah.
That's a big fish. That's the fish we're looking for. It absolutely is. I'm going to need a net on this one.
Yep,
Jim.
I'm with you.
Nice fish.
Come
Good
here,
fish.
buddy.
Yeah, good fish. Whoa.
Ooh, that's a better size
Yeah,
one.
I seen the fish. Yeah, nice fish.
See, that's what I mean. It's unbelievable that GPS, you get something mapped in, you get the pattern, and the pattern's on. You can just jump from spot to spot to spot. As soon as we pull up to this spot, Guess what we got?
See all those teeth in there? That's telling you that that's the top of the line predator in any system. Just the same way a muskie is a top of the line predator, a smallmouth bass is a top of the line predator. And when you're fishing for a fish like that, they can be very triggerable. And that's the key. Things like depth and speed and directional changes. And on walleyes, they love these things that are kind of darting, jumping, dodging on that jig. And that's what triggers a fish like this to bite. And what a fun way to catch them. In my local newspaper, there's a section that they have titled Guest Opinion. And it covers all kinds of topics. One of them happens to be religion. And there was an opinion in here by a guy that is an atheist and basically questioned the existence of God, said Jesus never lived. There's no documentation on this, and it caused quite a stir. A lot of people bounced back and forth. And by the way, I'll make a side note to that. That kind of reminds me of that guy in Iraq that said there wasn't a Holocaust, when you got all kind of document the fact that there is. But that's just something to think about. But he goes on to the title of the thing was Christianity, Pious Fiction or Fantasy. And then it says, we're faced with a religion founded on pious fiction, fraud, forgery, fantasy, and fakery. Well, needless to say, it upset a lot of people. Pastors responded, lay people responded. He's been bouncing back and forth, and hey, I had to stick my 2 cents in. Let me read you a quick response that I bounced back with, along with my brother Ron. A number of letters, some from Deerwood and others from Pine River, have on a regular basis taken to task folks who apparently believe in a higher power called God. The various retorts and counter letters cite arguments from academia, history, science, and even the Bible. Regardless of one's point of view on life, these 4 vital questions must be asked or answered. How did I come to be? What is the meaning of life? How do I discern between good and evil on an individual as well as corporate basis, if such a thing even exists? When I die, what happens to me? Simple questions. However, how you answer them will expose who you are. The non-theist cannot comment on the power of faith because they have never experienced it. They do not and cannot possibly understand it. How sad. On the other hand, those who have actually experienced the power of God through faith have no problem answering any of these questions and can face any perplexing circumstances that life puts in their path. Now this thing is going to go on. He answered me, and then there's going to be other people bouncing back and forth. He isn't going to change my mind, and I doubt that I'm going to change his. Only God can change his mind, but that's a whole nother story. And there just goes on and on. But a scripture that bounced back or I thought about a number of times and nobody ever said it, is Psalm 14:1. Again, that's Psalm 14:1 in the Bible. You could look it up if you got a Bible at home. You can go on your cell phone and look it up, Psalm 14:1. You can go on your computer at the office and look it up. That's Psalm 14:1. It really says a lot about this issue. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water. Once again, Psalm 14:1.